Well, here's take two of my 1983 Suzuki GS450A, aka GS450GA Suzukimatic. I picked this up just over a week ago. Wasn't running due to blocked carbs. Um, they were pretty gunged up, but nothing too drastic. Carb cleaner managed to clean them out. Carbs are not too bad to remove actually on this bike. Some of the online guides made it look like it was really complex, but it's actually reasonably straightforward, especially only having two. It's quite easy to explain. Obviously, you have to undo the clamp for the rubber intake, and then obviously for the airbox here on both sides. The saddle, you have to unclip it at the back. There's weird information about how you do this online as well, but actually it just clips in here. There's probably supposed to be a bolt there, I guess, but there wasn't any bolt on this particular bike, and it doesn't seem to need it. But there probably should be a bolt there. So you lift that up, and then there's a little trigger in here, as you can see, perhaps there. So once you take that off, you can get in underneath the seat. There's a couple of different nuts and bolts, and you can kind of slide back the airbox. Not by a great distance, maybe an inch or so. You can slide it back slightly, and that gives you enough room to get the mouth of the carbs out of the rubbers and disconnect them. One of the problems I had when I put it all back together very nicely, made sure all my hoses were routed perfectly, and just in here, I don't know if you can see that, there's the well, you can see the carb cable there. I forgot to connect the friggin' carb cable, so to say it's a bit of a pain in the arse to fit it when the carbs are fitted would be an understatement. But if you've got three arms, you know, maybe four hands or something like that, it's probably straightforward enough, and very strange fingers, but eventually managed to get it in. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. Make sure you connect the cable first, and it's probably easier connecting the cable here and then connecting the cable at this end, but it can be done. So as I say, this one is it's just a new toy for me. I quite like the 80s, well, I like the 70s and the 80s style on the bikes. Naked is best from an aesthetic point of view, maybe not if you're going high speed or long distances, but for the style, that's what does it for me. This one, I mean, it's not perfect, but I think for a 32-year-old motorcycle, I've certainly no complaints at all. I think in my native country of Scotland, if I'd picked this up in this condition after 5 years of age, I'd have been over the moon. The chrome in general on the mufflers or the exhausts is excellent. Same with the footrests. There's a little bit of rust there on the brake lever. You can see it there as well. But again, I haven't cleaned that yet. I have actually polished this so far with some metal polish. It's come up very well. There's some pitting underneath the lacquer, as you can see on the engine cases. I'm not sure what the best way to do that is yet, or perhaps I'll just leave it as it is, because you can't get that 32 years worth of patina or patina back once you take it off. I could probably do with doing the down pipes or the headers, maybe give them a bit of a polish up, but again, it's not something that bothers me. I just did a small job today. I fitted new NGK spark plugs. I had auto lights in them when I picked the bike up. I can't say if it made any difference at all to it or not, but they're brand new. It's got fresh fluids in it. Changed the oil. I just used Walmart's special $2 a quart 10 watt 40. The The oil filter came from Advanced Auto Parts. It's about $5. I'd never imagine a bike looking that clean underneath back home, but it's pretty immaculate. You know, again for its age. I'm not saying it's like a brand new bike. Chrome work on the front fender or front mudguard is excellent. There's a little bit of pitting here on the front forks, but again, it's not going to bother me. The wheel rims are in pretty good shape. All of this kind of stuff, like the headlamp and the indicators, are really in excellent condition. Same with the mirrors; they're pretty much immaculate, or as good as new anyway. The instrument cluster as well. You can see the writing. Again, most bikes, once people have cleaned them a few times, all of this stuff here has disappeared. But yeah, I'm really quite impressed with it. See the switch gear on the handlebars, it's really as it left the factory. Same here. The tank's got pretty good paintwork. There's a couple of little things. There's a little chip here. That's just a bit of metal polish or something. Yeah, there's a slight little chip there. Chrome work on here is as new, really. Even down here, I mean, it's all really pretty good. I haven't actually even cleaned the shocks yet. The back wheel is in good shape. It spins freely. No corrosion in the back of the muffler. I mean, even the factory paint, on the swing arm. I know that back home in Scotland I had three-year-old motorcycles, and they never looked anything like this at the time. So yeah, the frame's in excellent condition. One thing that I do need to do is I got a new battery for it. It was actually a Varta maintenance-free battery from Advanced Auto Parts. I need to find the rubber clip to hold that secure. But again, it's not a big deal. The chrome effect on the plastic, again, it's just like new, really. The rubbers, perfect again. Everything. I mean, really, to be fair, it's like a year or two old bike as far as I'm concerned. The standard of the chrome, as you can see on the rear mudguard or the rear fender, is as good as I could imagine it would be. You can see again the quality of the factory paint. And this is just having had a wash. There's nothing fancy on there to make that shine. It's very, very clean. Even the chrome on the foot peg's excellent. One of the things that when I picked the bike up, obviously fuel had come through here somehow, and it kind of stained this. Now you can actually see in here, that's kind of the colour it was. I've just not wiped that off yet. Basically just need to spray it down, and it had actually reacted with the silver paint, so I've just cleaned that off. And again, that was nothing. I think it was like dashboard spray or something I used on it. Just some sort of spray for cleaning the car. It just took it off. Again, you can see there's definitely some corrosion here, but it's not doing it any harm. It's just what the metal wants to do. On this side, again, all the plastics and that, they're in very good shape. There's a very slight dent here. It's a shame it's about an inch, but considering the originality of the bike as a whole, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, I'm really very impressed with it, and my experience now of riding an automatic motorcycle. I think if I was younger, perhaps I wouldn't really think about having a Suzukimatic, but now that I'm getting older and presumably more sensible, I don't see I don't view a motorcycle now as a complete balls to the wall machine I might have in my youth, where everything was, as fast as you could go, needle in the red line kind of thing. Now I'm quite happy just to cruise along and take in the scenery and just enjoy being on a motorcycle, rather than getting from A to B as fast as possible. I've actually just noticed in the light, there's a slight little ding on the front mudguard there. Didn't notice that before. In my other video, as I say, it's still got the original tyres on it. They don't have any sign of cracking or anything. They're not perished, but they could certainly do with being replaced. They're getting down there. I've not quite decided on what tyres are going to replace it yet, but I'll probably get something more modern. The back one's the same. Again, it's the original IRC tyre, not a brand I'm familiar with, but it must be from the early 80s. That's about it. I'm really very pleased with my little purchase. I don't know what I would get after this. I'd certainly be very happy to have like a GS550, 750 or 1000. But this really does the same thing for me. It's just a small lazy cruiser with sort of street influence to it as well. It's not overly cruiser style, but it's still kind of like a street looking motorcycle. So that's about it. I better see how this video turns out. Any questions you have about the Suzuki GS450A, particularly the Suzukimatic, feel free to ask. I can't say I know much about them other than having owned one for a week. So there we have it.